marking the blade, put my maker's mark in. I've got plenty of videos of this, so if you want to have a look how I do it, have a look at that. This is some Juma, which is an acrylic type resin product. Wonderful little material. Once you polish it up, its true colors start to shine. Okay, once we got the first tile in, just drop in the first pin. That will help to keep everything steady. Pin in, and lastly, just our middle pin. Trace the shape. Handle cut the rough shape, bring it over to the grinder. Back in place. Now I'm just gonna bring it down to the steel. Not after a perfect shape at the moment, just after roughly close to it, just to give me the curves to follow here and here. And we just want to put a curve on the front. There's roughly the curve I'm aiming for. From here we'll change over to the angle table and put an angle on that. Sitting on our angle table, we'll go back over that curve. There's the curve on one side. I'll do the other side, run it through the grids up to 400 so it's nice and smooth, and then we will head inside for glue up. We're going to give everything a wash down with some isopropyl alcohol. You can also use acetone, basically nail polish remover. Bit of solvent. Just give it a wipe down. That's going to clean off any of that plastic dust, as well as any oils or anything like that that's on there that could stop the glue from sticking. I use G-Flex epoxy for it. I find it works really well and it sticks really well. Nice simple epoxy to use. Just portion it 1 to 1 and just thoroughly mix it together. Take our first pin, roll that in it. Pop it in the hole. Our lanyard pin, same deal. I find it easier on a 3-pin just to put it together with the 2 and then come back later, put the 3rd pin in. Just squeeze those together. Here we go. There we go, all glued. Put some clamps on it for a little bit of pressure. I use a bigger one at the front. That way you can sit with the bottom down, like so, and just strip down. Okay, then we get our rag. Bit more alcohol on it. And just clean that front edge. Move to a different spot. Again, clean that front edge. Alright, there's that glue up. Nice and simple. We will give this 24 hours. All glued up, and now for my favourite part, which is profiling the handle. This is where it goes from a picture in my head to something someone can put in their hands. Now you see a lot of new makers on the forums, they cut a lot of finger wells and that sort of thing in there. It's really not needed. As long as you've got a good shape that a hand can hold, it doesn't need it. If you cut finger wells in there, it'll only fit one hand. This one's actually a 3-finger knife, and the last finger ends up grabbing onto the lanyard, which goes through that hole. So yeah, you don't need every finger fitting into a finger well to make a good grip on a knife. It's just not needed. And if you do it so it fits your hand, it fits no one else's. Whereas just cutting a standard handle shape, if you grip it a little tighter, you can feel what it's like for a smaller hand. You grip with your normal grip, or you grip with a loose grip for a big hand. So pretty simple. All right, so what we're going to do is clean up the flats first, and then we're going to shape the face of it. So let's start by cleaning up these flats. Small wheel, because we've got to get in this little curve. There's our flats all cleaned up to 400 grit, looking lovely. As you can see down on the floor, Juma does make a lot of dust. It's a plastic dust. Best to wear some breathing apparatus, a filter or something like that, to keep this junk out of your lungs. So from here we will tape up the handle to protect it as we're working that curve section. We don't want to go to all this hard work and then mark up our knife. So we'll put some tape on that, and then we'll go into shaping the handle. Okay, so we're back up on the plate, and first thing we're going to do is just flatten off the pins where they've come through. I've already cut them down reasonably flush, but we're just doing the flush, and then we're going to rock it around to put the shape of the handle in there. Doesn't always show perfectly on the camera, but let's give it a go. So there's our basic shape. As you can see at the back of it, wee bit wider than at the front of it. Check it for fit in the hand. Fits nice, fits comfortable. As I said, it's a 3-finger grip. That last finger's just coming off the end, and it picks up the cord that comes through. When you close your hand, you'll find it's triangular in shape. It's a bit wider at the top than at the bottom, so you want your knife handle doing the same thing. All right, let's finalize the shape and bring it to the finish. My preferred way to finish it off is a 1-inch scallop belt. The scallops just soften the sides of it, means that it's cutting mainly in that center part, and on the sides there's not a lot of cut to it, so it just helps you smooth the shapes. Much smoother than that side, which is just got the rough shape grind. So I'll take it to 400 grit and then we'll polish it. Okay, last up we're just going to polish it up. I'll just use a beeswax mix. For that I don't need any grit in it. It's the same one I use on my leather work. You see there's a bit of leather stain on the flat wheel, but that won't hurt things. Keep the tape on at this stage because I'm using a grinder which is way too fast for doing buffing. Just makes it a little bit safer if I've got the tape there, less likely to stab myself or those things around me. There we go. As you can see, that Juma's got those pretty little scales in amongst it. Such a lively, beautiful finish in it. So we will do a nice sheath with something to match that. Alright, there we go. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and bye for now.